Alright, this is The Truth Speaks, and this is Brainfood Roundtable number 3. I'm going to put the same disclaimer at the beginning of any show. Take your kids out of the room because I can't control what they say at this point. That said, the opinions in this discussion do not reflect The Truth Speaks or our affiliates. So,
I represent mine.
they may.
Complete anarchy.
Yeah, that's you.
Black flag.
So we were gonna first talk about the Iraqi airstrikes that Obama authorized on Wednesday, I think. So what's everyone's opinion on that? Ken, we'll start with you.
Well, to be honest with you, I've kind of been out of the loop. We're trying to bomb Iraq now. Is that correct?
We authorized
what have they done to
it.
us?
We authorized it.
Ah, gee, what's this we stuff? I didn't authorize this. I'm serious. What did they do? What have they done to directly affect Americans? I'm not really sure. You guys may want to fill me in on this because I've been out all week working and doing stuff. I've been out all day today, and I didn't have one single Iraqi try to fuck with me. Why are we authorizing them to be bombed?
Yeah, you know what? To support that statement, my buddy just got a ride to Portland that would have taken him like 6 hours to otherwise, and the guy who gave him a ride was actually an Iraqi. So, point one for the Iraqis for actually benefiting our population rather than. So yeah, I just got the information this morning. You're gonna have to elaborate, Dylan.
There was a
on top of that, we also have now new reports that Britain is thinking about doing exactly the same thing and joining in and bombing Iraq. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that are questioning that at the same time.
Well, okay, here's the whole situation that I know of, at least. There were, Buzz, correct me if I'm wrong, 15,000 Iraqi civilians chased to a mountain by ISIS militants, and they were all about to be killed. And the U.S. bombed the area to force the ISIS militants away from the civilians.
Well, I think it was more like 150,000.
Maybe,
and
I'm not
at the
sure.
end of the day, most of the time they're not very precise anyway. And when they do accidentally kill civilians, they don't label them as civilians. They label them as militants. It's the new word for oops.
No, they label them as insurgents.
Or freedom, or freedom fighters.
Yeah, like us. They're gonna kill us, man. I see drones over my house right now. Oh, not really, but won't surprise me when I do. Especially as successful as we are becoming here at ARN.
Well, Steve, Snow, and who else is in here? Oh, Snow's gone. Steve, you got anything you want to add?
Not a hell of a lot, but just to note that the bombing that's just been conducted a couple of days ago comes on the 50th anniversary of the Gulf of Tonkin resolution.
Huh.
Resolution or incident?
Well, resolution as far as I'm seeing it.
Alright, well, I figured that would lead into another topic, but Fox.
Yeah?
Can you help me out, or can somebody think of something?
I've just recently read that, and because it's a Sunday, and this is the one day of the week I can choose not to care, I didn't pay too much attention to it and proceeded to watch a movie. Don't judge me. That being said, you tell. going on? They're bombing people in Iraq
Yeah.
again. What a
Mm.
surprise!
Yeah. Where do you think?
Well, yeah, it worked out so well for us the last time. Yeah, why
Mm-hmm.
not just repeat the why not just
Biggest
repeat that?
problem with our country right now is we are using an unresolvable situation and has been for hundreds, if not thousands of years, to justify a never-ending war, which seeks only to benefit the military-industrial complex, which has its full vested in soul. So, good luck with that. Have you guys ever, any of you, read or watched 1984, the
Yes.
movie? George
Ye-
Orwell?
yes and yes. I've read the book and
Okay.
seen the movie.
Keep in mind the purpose of indefinite war. What specifically, I can't quote because it's been a while, but still,
Well,
it's quite obvious.
I can't quote it, but the purpose of never-ending war is never-ending profit.
We've always been at war with East Asia. Listen, I read the book, I saw the movie, I got the T-shirt, and I got the lunchbox in 1984.
You are amazing, and
Yeah, I'm pretty
so
modest
what?
about that too.
Ken,
And did you know George Orwell's actual quote on the book? He actually stated as fact that it will happen.
Well, here's news for you.
Not
Here's
maybe.
news for you. No. George Orwell was quoting me, okay, when he said that.
Groovy.
uh,
Buzz.
so, so, where do you think this is all headed? What do you think is our next target?
You're not gonna like my.
Well, let's read the book again. Get up to where we are now in the book, and then see what's on the next couple of pages. Why don't we?
I don't have the book sitting in front of me.
It looks to me like the U.S. is on a mission just to destabilize every regime in that area, and to interfere and meddle as much as they possibly can. I'm not even sure if our government has a clear-cut goal, except they want to insert maybe
Puppets.
governments that are friendly. Yeah, puppet governments that are friendly to us. Yes,
Well,
that's the word I was looking
well,
for.
actually, I think they do have a clear-cut goal, Ken. I think their goal is Iran. I think their goal is to destabilize and take over Iran and establish a major foothold in the Middle East and control that entire region's oil supply. Because after Iran, who's the next biggest oil supplier? Saudi Arabia.
Well, you hear rumors of the Obama regime claiming, they want the Middle East.
Of course.
Now, if you got this claim going on, and at the same time you got the United Nations, and you got China and Russia and America, these big parties, then it's obvious with them wanting their new world order that what you would do is destabilize the Middle East with wars and all the rest of it, and then when the people are actually too desolate and destroyed to actually fight back, then you just join forces and take it.
Well,
and seeing as we know that Russia and America secretly are friends, and we know that China and America secretly are friends, because if you don't look at the mainstream media and just look at all the business that's going on between them, you know that it's for real.
Buzz, I'm gonna have to disagree in a sense because
this sanction stuff is a load of bullshit.
Not even going there.
Look, I actually think America's on the wrong side of history for the first time.
For the first time.
Russia, no, not for the first time, but and Russia is, in a sense,
on the right side of history.
Yeah.
For the first time.
But yeah. Russia,
yeah, but you're missing the game, Nine. You're missing the game. Just like in politics, you get two guys to choose from. Both are the two sides of evil.
Yeah.
What you're saying. it does kind of look like right now that Russia is the new United States, and the United States is becoming Russia, though, doesn't it? That we're definitely on the wrong side of
The
history.
roles may have been switched, but the game continues.
Yeah, it is essentially a chess game, but it's overly complicated and something I couldn't dream of playing.
Well, there was another book out, not 1984, can't remember the name of it, but basically the main story of it was
1985.
that there was a complete takeover of America after a financial collapse and a plague.
I know the book.
And
I know the.
and that happened just before the eventual full takeover of the world.
I remember that book. I cannot think of the title though. It'll come back to me at the end of the show.
You have to have some faith in that things may get better here in the United States when a country like Russia, from what it once was a complete fascist like slaughterhouse, turned into a relatively free nation as it is today. But that book I believe you're referring to is None Dare Call It Conspiracy, maybe?
Yeah, but it's just strange how some of these books that are classed as conspiracy, like everyone's claiming, oh, 1984 rubbish, it was a conspiracy, you know, so what, it's not happening, you know, it's just people denying. At the end of the day, it's happening, there's crap loads happening. It's to distract us all, yes, but, you know, they can be nasty with it too, they do kill people.
Well, I lost my train of thought. Fox, I'm gonna post you the link to this show.
Alright. Should be good. I know I'm ready. I need a few new threads.
Well,
Seriously, we've been inactive for some time.
I think that what you're gonna start seeing, Buzz, not only you're gonna start seeing in the eyes of the world, Russia becoming the good guy. I think in the eyes of the world, in the eyes of the sleeping, you're gonna see them become the good guys, and then it's gonna turn into that book that you were talking about. The roles are gonna completely reverse again, and I think the roles will.
If we look at the case of Syria and what happened with Syria, the only reason that they didn't impose a no-fly zone over Syria is because Russia very strongly objected.
Mhm.
But they are all playing their roles.
Yes.
I don't see the link.
I posted it in Brainfood. It's right above your emo thing.
Emo thing. That's funny.
Dylan, do you ever watch American wrestling?
No.
Well, I used to watch wrestling ages ago. We had British wrestling, so I watched a bit of American wrestling too. And after a while, I got very bored with it because, you know, realised they're great actors, really. But in that, what you have is one good guy. He'll be a good guy for a few years. And then they'll have this outside influence that hurts him, a bad guy or a normal guy, and all of a sudden he becomes a bad guy. And somebody else who's a bad guy will become a good guy.
Well, the U.S.
They do it all the time. And all I'm saying is, if you look at that as the world stage, you can see that all they're doing is changing the wrestlers over.
Oh, here's the thing, Buzz. We really are becoming the new Soviet Russia in more ways than one. And it's gonna collapse us. It will. I'm betting on that. I'm betting on a collapse happening within the next decade, probably.
Yeah, but it won't be because of Russia. It'll be
No.
because of the big banks.
Exactly. It'll be because.
And yet they're going to blame it on Russia because They always rewrite history and change history.
He
So
who
25 years down the line, everyone will blame Russia.
He who wins the war writes the history.
You got it.
But the point I was making was the U.S. will collapse economically in the very near future, and will collapse just like Soviet Russia did, and we will return. But I think you're going to keep seeing the roles reversed for another 10 to 15 years until
I don't.
eventually it all comes to a standstill and they unite to take over.
I don't, because what the banks have done, so that people are going to have trouble taking the banks down, is they've created another big bank called BRICS. So if you've got a starting big bank and a fully fledged big bank, to make your split, you have to wait till this big bank is halfway down and this big bank is halfway up, meaning Russia's got to stay the good guy behind the BRICS to build that up over the next few years. So Russia's going to stay the good guy in this for as long as they can to build up the BRICS. They don't want anything out in the BRICS.
Probably. You're probably not wrong about that.
They're just giving you the two choices again. No, it's a pattern. They give you two all the time. Two, bad guy or bad guy.
I mean, you have to kind of consider. Well, I mean, how is Russia a choice? I mean, we can side with Russia. We can say, yeah, rock on Putin, but really, we're not choosing Russia because if you're an American citizen,
Fox, I wasn't particularly saying you got to choose Russia or anything. I'm saying that the banks, to try and save themselves, are splitting into two, BRICS and the Feds, yeah? Therefore, trying to make sure that one of it survives, and you've got a choice. You either go with the Feds or you go with the BRICS. It's not a choice of Russia or America or anything like that. It's just a choice of big banks. If they've got the money, then they're going to do the influencing. Literally, they're trying to split the world into like two groups that are constantly going to be fighting each other. One's the Fed banks and one's the BRIC banks.
What you're saying is there's no more one world order, but probably a two world order.
Well, a two world order makes for perpetual war, don't you think?
Yeah, and the two worlds will merge into one.
No, the two are one, but appearing as two to create perpetual war.
I'm with you on that, Buzz, but I'm saying for we're on the same page. I'm just saying for others, they will merge. For us, we know they're on the same side, but...
So let's look at the two sides. We have the BRICS, and on the other side we have what? The Rothschild central bank system? Fiat money?
Yeah, the Feds.
Yeah, it's
I
not...
mean, can't you see it in the future? In all battles, you'll have on one group of tanks the symbol of the Feds, and on the other group of tanks the symbol of the BRICS. It won't be Russia versus America. It won't be this country versus that country. It'll just be the Feds against the BRICS.
When the rebels took over Libya, what was the first thing they did the next day?
They
announced the grand opening of the Libyan Central Bank. Which Libya had never had.
It can.
Under Gaddafi. Now, I wonder why the rebels, being rebels, why would choose to take that action as one of the most important things they would do straight after they took over.
Oh, well, they had to repay their masters, the people who armed them up and gave them the weapons they needed, of course.
Yep. Oh, and who would own that? Oh, right, yeah, the Feds. Funding the CIA, supplying the weapons.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, can't really audit the Fed's every move, can you? Half of it's federally top secret. And the federal law, the law that they make.
Got that right.
Yeah.
Actually, I believe the Federal Reserve has resisted audits in the past. I think people like Rand Paul have actually started a movement called, Audit the Fed,
Hey,
and that has been resisted by the Fed itself.
hey
It's kind
guys,
of suspicious, huh?
guys. I just pulled up an article. Obama warns of long-term Iraq strikes. So he's threatening he can make this an extremely long-term thing. Again.
So what we're looking at is Iraq's actually been blown the crap out of, and because they still won't agree to a central bank, they're going to just blow the crap out of them again, and this time Britain's going to join in. Nice.
Well, you really gotta give Iraq credit. I mean, any other country would have submitted by now. What?
Looking a bit green there, Nine.
Hey,
Gauge PVC official like this is awesome.
well, you look like the mask. Hey, guy.
How y'all doing, folks?
Good, you?
Oh, good. Is this live?
What?
Yep.
Is this live?
Yep, this is live.
Sweet. My favorite buddy, Bub. Kenny Bub. How's my Bub doing? Come on, Ken. You had a tough week, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. I had a wonderful week. How you doing, man?
There we go. Of course, man. Every week's a wonderful week, thank goodness. Seriously. So how you all doing?
Pretty good.
Groovy.
I'll go back on mute and just hang out with you folks and check it out if it's okay.
Yeah, go ahead. You can join the discussion if you want, or you can just listen in.
I'll listen in long enough to go into the flow. I'm sorry to interrupt, guys.
Not a problem at all. So, I lost my train of thought.
I apologize.
No problem, I just lost my train of thought. I do that all the time.
It didn't have Ebola attached to it, did it?
I don't think so. It might have, though.
I think the last thing we discussed was the US strikes in Iraq against ISIS.
And the possible British strikes that are going to help against the Iraqis and America. Obama deciding he might go for a long-term bombing of Iraq. So we were saying that, Iraq's been bombed the crap out of. They still won't have a central bank. So now America and Britain's going to start giving them crap. Hence the big fear, they're going to have a jihad or one of these other things.
Yeah, but this is insanity, man. This really is just wrong.
Well, of course, to sanctify what they're doing, they're going to have an attack on either America or Britain. So you can expect one of these false flag attacks in America or Britain very soon.
Buzz, no offense to you guys, but I kind of hope it's not us at this point.
Hey, you know what? I'm really hoping it's Maine because I might be taking a trip here in a couple days. So if I have nothing to come back to in the state, I'm not gonna cry at all. I just I just hope they miss my building a bit so I can
Mm.
pay somebody to have my stuff shipped up to Minnesota.
Man, you really hate it there.
I fucking despise it. And now, Dylan Majora, on with the countdown.
What?
I don't know, dude. Really awkward silence.
Yeah.
So what's the next topic?
Let's see. Here's one. There was a ceasefire in Gaza that just ended, and the
Oh,
and
wow.
the bombings have continued.
Yeah,
Oh,
I like the way they're actually messing with the titles with what's coming out. I mean, 1 second you're seeing, oh, Hamas has attacked Israel with rockets, 5 killed, and then you read the next story. Hamas has hit Israel with 5 rockets. Israel has fired crap loads back and killed 5 Palestinians. It's almost as if like the first story is missing out the facts, and the second story is showing like, this is actually what went on. They fired, their missiles didn't do nothing because Iron Curtain or whatever Iron Dome, whatever they got, and the Israel's ones did.
Here,
I mean, how many times have I got to say this? The Palestinians have got no nukes, no air force, no navy,
huh?
no tanks, no military, no
Okay.
nothing.
Hey,
The Hamas are being bought and paid for by Israeli. They were in the start to actually cause dissent amongst the Palestinians,
hey, Buzz.
funded by the Americans and the British with the weapons.
Hey, Buzz. Gordon Duff and Intel Hub are reporting Israel deployed a new weapon system, a white hot beam from fighter jets on Gaza.
That's interesting. Is that actually being allowed to be public, or is this under the radar sort of news?
This is under the radar.
Well, it'd be interesting if that sort of thing gets public. Energy weapons?
It
They're
looks
not
like
supposed
it.
to actually. They're not actually supposed to be showing them. That's naughty. If Israel's showing them, this could actually be like a stir up in the works.
Hmm.
Is the enemy actually having some infighting going on right now? I wonder. We're gonna use it. Don't use it. We're gonna use it. Don't use it. They used it. No. They're gonna find out. We already did.
Canada. Here's another story out of global news. Ottawa refuses to let injured children come to Canada for treatment from Gaza.
wow. Isn't that the Prime Minister?
Well, what's the reason behind this?
Let's pull up the article and find out.
Well, it could also be what's possibly going on over there. I mean, they reckon they've got a few possible cases of Ebola now.
Okay, so
in Canada.
here's
They're
the
checking them out right now.
here's their reason. Prepare to laugh. It's too risky to transport injured children and keep them away from their family. Yeah, that's yeah.
So what they're actually saying is, no, we'd like to leave them with their family so that they get bombed and killed.
Very much.
Basically.
And Joan Rivers says all Palestinian children deserve to die.
Yeah, well, that's a very uninformed person then.
Oh, jeez, really?
Yeah.
Children deserve to die.
Apparently.
Is that where this world is right now? Children deserve to die. Isn't that special? Of course, Joan Rivers would never muster up the courage to shoot a Palestinian child or to hack a child to death.
Oh
But
no.
she can actually say that crap. Gee
She'll,
whiz, what a nitwit.
she'll let the poor do that for her.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's the way it usually works, isn't it? The poor usually are the ones who go off to fight the wars for the rich. It's the poor people's kids who wind up going over there and having to shoot the Palestinian kids, or to shoot whatever country we're at war with, or the Iraqi kids, or the Afghanistan
I
kids.
believe there's an
Jeez.
amendment. I believe that there was a law written that prevents rich people's kids from going to war. Was there not?
Actually, there was.
Okay, I was just making that up. But of course,
Mhm.
by saying that, it sounds true, and so therefore it must be, and apparently is.
But
Wow.
why would Joan Rivers say something like that?
Because she's a miserable cunt.
Well, hang on a minute. Well, that could be the reason. But, you know, who is Joan Rivers? She's actually Joan Alexander Molinsky.
Oh,
She's a Jew!
That explains everything.
In other words, she's giving a long leash.
So here's
In
an
other words, if people are going to call us anti-Semites, then all I can say is if Jews are allowed to say that they want us to all die, then yes, I'm anti-Semite.
No, there are different kinds of Jews. There are the Zionistic Jews, and then there's the 10,000 Jews in New York City who were protesting against Israel's actions about 2 weeks ago.
not all Jews are evil. Actually, the great majority of them are good people.
Yeah, I know, it's the two different types. It's those that follow the book and those that follow the word. The word being the Talmud that was eventually turned into a book, which is supposedly what the Zionists love, because it's just a Satanist book that's sick. It's sick. If anyone ever reads the Talmud, they would understand how sick these people really are.
Hey,
Here's the point. Back to your observation, I have to throw this in, please. 80% of the Jewish people that I've met and spoken to in life, 80% of them have never even, because of their culture, because of the rabbis, they're not even permitted to even look, much less read the Talmud. So a lot of people don't realize that the only real people that really are taught, it's always in government. People that really know the Talmud, it's all about government and controlling people. And the people themselves, when you talk to Jewish people, 80% of the people that I've spoken to they know of the Talmud, but they're not permitted, nor do they have access to it.
Plus, if you actually look back at the Second World War and you find out some of the funding behind Hitler and the fact that he was shown Zionism, and therefore started killing ordinary Jews, not Zionist Jews, ordinary Jews, meaning that the Zionist Jews would be able to procreate and eventually outnumber the ordinary Jews. That was what I saw as the plan.
Can I just throw this at you, Greg, and ask you objectively this? We keep talking about the Jew, and my question is this. Isn't the Queen Mother and her lineage back to what, the 1200s, where this all began? Aren't they really actually Germans?
Well,
yes.
History is written by the winners, yeah? Now, at the end of the day, they may be, but they also may have other bloodlines there as well. I mean, at the moment, it's hard to tell whether they're Germans or German Greeks.
Well,
that's both are feasible, and both are probable. But in the bigger picture, that is an interesting, go further. We all need to go further on that.
so
Because
Yes, try and find it, mate. Try and find further.
Let's go to World War II. Now think about the whole nation and lineage of the people themselves and how many soldiers and citizens were mercilessly, forget the Jews, just the Germans themselves, the nation themselves. So now think about that. If I'm the mother queen and I have all these worker bees, and if I use this principle of a holocaust, because that's what Abraham was doing to Isaac, he was offering his son as a whole burnt offering. Makes you wonder, is that what was happening to Germany? They were offering up a sacrifice of their, now think like the royals, they were only exterminating their bastard children. And look what they did to their money. Turned it into kindling with Hitler. And literally Hitler was the instrument to decimate the German people. Makes you wonder, is what I'm thinking out loud. Sorry, guys. I'll go mute.
No, you're right, especially with the numbers. I mean, you don't hear the numbers these days. Like, number one, before the Jews were actually killed off, there's old newspapers showing that before the end of the war, not even halfway through, they'd already stated that 6 million Jews had been killed. When at the end of the war, they estimated that 6 million Jews had been killed. So they'd already got their numbers sorted to how many they were going to kill, and they put it out early. And number two, the numbers for the amount of Germans killed, you don't hear about. It was more than the Jews. It was over 8 million. I think people are missing the story here. You know, the Germans themselves were the first victims of that war. The Jews were secondary. And what happened to the Jews, 6 million to 8 million, you know, both bad things.
And notice the broadcasting medium is always the Jews and the 6 number in the million. Versus, they never really talk about the nation, the people, the economy, their monetary system, the collapse. Hitler went into Rome first, made a deal with the Pope, and then commenced operations through Poland. So this is a family. This is basically the true, real mafia on a global level for at least 2,000 years through the papacy and Constantine. So
yeah, I mean, all you got to do is look at who goes to the Pope.
As long as we are wise to this, we can take steps to equip each other mentally, because this is really a psychological war if you think about it, because they're pretty freaking brilliant. All the books, like you said, now back full circle and all mute out, you know, the winners write the history.
Well, like I was saying before, you only have to look at who's in history's been going to the Pope. Hitler went to the Pope. Netanyahu, he's gone on one knee kissing the Pope's hand. They all go on one knee kissing the Pope's hand, all of them, except old Queenie.
So
he actually just shakes hands and sits down before him.
Interesting to note that during World War II, Rome was bombed, but the Vatican always was unscathed.
Well planned, eh?
guys, I do want to move to Fox's favorite topic, at least, Ebola. For some reason, Fox hates that topic, but based on what I've been reading lately, the FDA approved testing it for a weapon, for weaponized uses. The FDA authorized it this weekend. So it's always fun. Buzz, I know you.
A major question there: who, why, where, and how the hell are they allowed to do testing for weaponized versions of something that is literally illegal across the whole globe?
Got
Because you're
me.
not allowed to use biological weapons worldwide. You're not allowed to. That's the law.
You got me.
So why isn't somebody getting arrested for allowing this to happen?
Because,
Somebody needs to be arrested now for that. That is breaking the law.
but Buzz, who's gonna do the arresting when you have all the guys who have the power in cahoots with each other?
Well, that's just it. The people need to start making common law courts
Oh,
locally
I don't-
and getting their local bad guy out of office, put in a good guy, and then start clubbing together, town to town,
Greetings,
state
Archon.
to state, until we actually get to the top and take the top guys out. You know, build a mountain of the people's courts. That sound like an idea? I'll give you another 3 million if you want them. We got to stop saying it's impossible and start thinking of solutions, because saying it's impossible makes it impossible. And if you don't try, then nothing ever changes.
I agree with that. But the point I was making, well, I forget what point I was making actually. Sorry, I'm slow. Ken, Steve, you guys have an opinion?
Yeah, I'll tell you, Ebola, the whole Ebola thing has gone bonkers. Listen, if a if an immigrant in Des Moines, Iowa, let's say a Nigerian immigrant in Des Moines, Iowa, sneezes, people run around saying, it's Ebola. Come on, man, wake up. Fewer people, I mean, seriously, more people today probably slipped on a banana, fell and died, than are going to die from Ebola. Now, let's put it into perspective. It's a bunch of baloney. It's a false, it's just fear porn. Keep the people afraid and stupid, and it seems to be working.
Yeah, let's go back for a moment to 2009, the Ebola type outbreak of, what was it again?
H1N1.
We had MERS, swine flu, bird flu, smallpox, SARS, West Nile. How many more are they going to throw at us?
How many are they going to throw at us till the end game?
You left out explosive diarrhea.
Oh, yes.
Who doesn't love that?
I mean, just the name alone.
we could actually we could actually use that weapon against them. Imagine everyone who had explosive diarrhea.
Oh my
all
god.
gathered around the Fed building and let loose.
If you remember, guys, the whole world was going to be infected. It was going to be a pandemic. The World Health Organization declared it a level 6 pandemic, their most dangerous category. What happened?
They created a mandatory vaccine.
Did you take? I know I didn't take that vaccine.
I sure didn't either.
I did. I wasn't awake back then. But
How many people actually got infected with it? Probably only a handful.
So I'm gonna run the.
People died from it.
Ken, I'm gonna run the disclaimer again because now we're starting to talk about explosive diarrhea. So, like I said at the beginning of the show, get your children out of the room because these guys are insane.
Well, I showed you guys the link just the other, or maybe yesterday. Listen, under the age of 5 worldwide, 760,000 children under the age of 5 die from diarrhea. 760,000. That's a lot of kids. That's a lot of young children. Now, this whole thing with the Ebola has claimed, what, 800? Golly, that's a drop in the bucket.
Man, you.
So which one are you? I mean, if you're gonna scare me, golly, at least give me some, give me something reasonable to be scared of. I mean, it's just not working. If people can't see through it, then they're fools.
I'm with you.
There, Ken. I believe they've actually two-folded this one because this is not just about the fear of Ebola. This is also about the fear of the people fearing Ebola. because you've got people afraid of those that might have Ebola and they don't want to catch it, and then you've got the fear of the people that are fearing the ones that are fearing the Ebola, because they don't know how the hell they're going to react, because the half of the world that's asleep, that believe it all, just might go crazy with fear.
And some of
So
those who are
it's a
awake,
double hitter.
and
It's a double hitter.
yeah, but some of those, Buzz, be fair, some of the people that are awake will go crazy too.
No, I don't think they will.
Because
those that aren't crazy are seeing through this as being another thing. You know, at the end of the day, what's to say that they're not over in Africa killing people with this stuff? I mean, you've got Monsanto's got the patent for Ebola. Ebola definitely seems like some sort of mutated version of scurvy.
Probably.
And at the end of the day, if they've been messing around with these stuff in biolabs for years and sanctioning weaponized use, so they've actually got it as a weapon that they can use, and secretly they have been using it against the law to get the property that they want, because Africa's got crap loads of stuff over there that they want. But saying that it's an accidental Ebola thingy and chucking that as a fear factor against the world without the world seeing that they're just taking it. Is that a possibility?
Yes. I think it's a high likelihood, actually. And I think that's what they're doing. And that's why...
I mean, it'd be worth it for the diamond mines alone in Africa.
That is, if you believe that diamonds have any worth.
And even that market, even the diamond market, is so seriously manipulated that, I mean, if you believe that those stones have any real worth, then you're buying into a whole different line of hype. You need to kind of.
Oh, I'm not buying into their
around.
worth as for monetary value. No, sorry, I'm talking about actual usage. Diamonds being as hard as they are. Millions of uses for that, mate. It's not always about the money. They've got enough money. Sometimes it's just about the resources, because they want something and they want to use it. If diamond's the hardest material supposedly on this planet at the moment, that would have a lot of uses.
Oh, it certainly has many industrial uses, yes.
I'm wondering, could you actually create some sort of diamond shell around a bunker to protect it a bit? I don't know. Could you?
I don't know.
I do like thinking outside the box. Just a possibility.
Possibility. Absolutely.
That is way outside the box.
It's extremely outside.
You can hardly see the box from where you're standing there.
Whoa,
There's a box?
The box? Holy smokes! I thought that was a dot.
I thought that was. I thought the box was just a legend. I killed the conversation, I guess.
Well, no, the box was a legend. Unfortunately, Pandora opened it. So now there is no box.
Man, I gotta eat something. Yeah, I'll read Joan Rivers' quote exactly. Okay, here it is. I am both saddened, and no, that's not the right one. Yeah, okay, the quote is, Palestinian civilians deserve to die. That was the quote. And then she said, again, low IQ Palestinians deserve to be dead.
Oh, isn't she so cute? I mean, seriously. Yeah, I guess. I guess everybody who's not Joan Rivers deserves to die in some horrible, explosive death. Wonderful, Joan. Why doesn't she just hurry up and croak herself? Well, she's about 200 years old, right? She's
She's
had
81.
so many Okay, she's had so many plastic surgeries. She's had so many plastic surgeries that dimple on her chin, that's her freaking belly button. All right?
She's had so many plastic surgeries, you can swipe her like a credit card and get money out.
See, okay, see, this is what I deal with all day.
I mean, she's and that dimple on her chin, that's her belly button. That's not a beard. That's not a beard she's wearing. Okay.
No, Ken, Ken.
I'm just telling you, that's how many plastic surgeries she's had.
Ken,
No,
I did not think you were going there.
We went there. We've been there. We've done that. We got the lunchbox and the T-shirt. Listen,
she's had so many plastic surgeries, like the Ken Barbie doll thing.
hey, the Ken doll is a wonderful piece of equipment.
Yeah. You know what? Never mind. We're not gonna go.
Ken wins every argument because he confuses everyone.
Yeah, Joan, you know what? I do not have a blow-up doll. I did have one. It's kind of a sad story. You guys want to hear the sad story?
Yeah.
The demise of my blow-up doll. Well, my blow-up doll and I were having a passionate night of lovemaking, and
What?
I don't know what happened, but I bit her on the ass. She farted and flew out the window.
Oh my God.
That was the end of her. She left me.
Oh my God.
And actually, my blow-up doll looked a little bit more lifelike than Joan Rivers.
Oh.
Thank you.
I'm just saying. Okay, at least I admit to it. You guys deny that you use a blow-up doll. All right, you guys are in denial, you hypocrite.
No, I'm kidding. I don't have two in my closet.
Ken, were there any parting words or were there farting words?
It's just kind of like, okay, it was gone. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, but
I had a blow-up doll. But I could only use her once, and she singed me eyebrows.
I'm not sure I get that one. I'm kind of lost.
Ken.
Okay. I kind of get that.
Ken.
Yeah.
You took the cake for this one. Bravo, man.
All right, you're welcome. But Joan Rivers, and you know something? Just there are so many people. You see what we're forced to do, though.
You ate, drank, and dreamed about George Carlin as a child, didn't you?
No. George Carlin was funny. Was funny back in the late '70s. He was funny in the early '80s, but then he started recycling his jokes, doing stuff which was not funny. He became a bit corporate. But seriously, let's get back to something serious. Joan Rivers and her opinions on the Palestinians, on the mutilation and killing of their civilian population, they echo almost almost all of the Zionists in the United States. Her sentiments are the ones are echoed by the Zionist Christians, okay, who believe that they have to blindly obey Israel because Israel is the chosen people, of the chosen people.
I know one of those people. I know one of those.
And those Christians, as good as their intentions are being misled. That's the only way I can say it. I mean, if you can say, honest to goodness, I'll guarantee you for what Joan Rivers said, and we'll discount the fact that she's a Jew. Just pull that, throw that away. I'll guarantee you, there's 100 or 1,000, or maybe even more Zionist Christians who would actually agree with her. And you know something? At a certain point, they have stopped making their own decisions on what's right and what's wrong. Because seriously, if you could, if you can justify the death of small children, just because their parents are Palestinian, if you can justify the death of a kid who can't even pick up his own AK-47 yet, if you can justify that death by saying, well, yeah, those people deserve it, then there's something seriously wrong or defective in your brain.
Hey, guys.
Well, if Israel is truly the chosen ones, should not we leave them take care of themselves as God will supposedly protect them? What I'm saying is basically, if they're chosen, let it's just it's kind of shitty because like it's yeah, that was kind of it. The awkward silence is not really helping.
Hey, I just read a headline that says, "Will Sean Hannity kill a child in Gaza?" He's going there, and I guess he was touting that he would.
Oh, you see, and he's basically echoing the sentiments of that Joan Rivers. But do you see what I'm saying?
Yes,
You
I
see what
do.
I'm saying? The actual. I mean, do you see how right and wrong has been corrupted? Are you serious? He's a grown man. He's a grown man. He can't tell the difference between doing the right thing and doing the wrong thing, which is killing a child, because they're a Palestinian. I mean, seriously, if I ever get that bad, you guys won't have to put me out of my misery. I'll do it myself. Just give me a gun and one bullet. I'll take care of the rest. When I start thinking it's okay to kill children, I mean, seriously.
That's
Yeah,
despicable.
You guys have seen the images of the death and the destruction that the Israelis are pounding down on they're pouring it down on the Palestinians. Hell, kids, young children cut in half, arms and legs
Worse
blown
than
off.
that.
Face is
Worse
blown
than that,
off.
it's like that man that walked up to the hospital with a Ziploc bag with like lumps of meat in the bag, and as he's holding it up, he's crying his eyes out, like saying, "This is my son. This is what's left of my son." They had one of those bombs that fire out all the flechette needles. It stripped this 4-year-old to pieces, and that was all that he could find of his son. His 4-year-old.
That's
Golly.
sick and depraved.
If you don't find something wrong with reducing a child to hamburger, if you don't find something sick in that, then there's something sick in you.
I cannot
And,
argue with that in the
you
slightest.
look at what were we talking about earlier, where the U.S. Wants to bomb Iraq because innocent civilians are being killed over there by a militant group. They want to bomb. We want to bomb the militant group. If we adopted that same policy
Israel
in the
would be
Palestinian conflict,
be a glass factory.
they'd be on the receiving end of our forces because of what they're doing.
And what do you think? What effect is this going to have on the Jewish population of Europe? At the moment, anti-Semitism in Europe is rising, and this is also adding more fuel to that anti-Semitism.
I don't know.
Yeah, but that anti-Semitism needs to be quelled by understanding. In other words, making the people that are giving out this anti-Semitism, they know the difference between a Jew and a Zionist, knowing that it's the Zionists that are doing all this.
And I probably shouldn't use the word anti-Semitism. Let us just say that there's a lot of anger towards Jews living in other countries, especially Europe at the moment.
Well, if they're Zionist Jews, then the people are right to be that way. If they're ordinary Jews, then no, and they need to be informed that it's the Zionists.
I can speak from a personal example. My mother is married to a Jew, So, knowing individuals personally, I have a hard time, not seeing that difference. They would be the kinds of people who, like I said, in New York City were like, protesting against the actions of Israel, as I previously stated. My mother is not a Jew, by the way. She just married one.
Yeah, and like I said, the difference between a Zionist and a Jew seems to be that a Jew will read, what is it? Is it the Torah?
Yes. Yes.
And the Zionists have the word, the law word, as in the Talmud, which has recently been turned into a book. And if you read the two and see the difference, yeah, one reads like a good one, like the Bible, whereas the Talmud reads literally like the Satanist's guidebook. I'm not kidding. In the Talmud, we are classed, everyone that isn't, part of their religion is a goyim. And all goyims can be killed lawfully by that religion. All women can be raped legally if they're goyim.
That's worse than Satanism, because contrary to what people believe, most factors of Satanism don't actually support even half of that. So, yeah, that's pretty deep, man. What was the book called?
The Talmud.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's
Talmud, I think.
My sister has a copy of that. She's real deep into the occult.
Well, that is a seriously sick book, because in that book it even states, like they can take a 3-year-old that's a goyim and rape them and kill them, and they won't get in trouble for it. They want all goyim dead.
Well, my sister only has a copy because she's more of a objective observer in regards to the occult. Stuff like 777, Aleister Crowley, and Blavatsky. She's real deep into that stuff. That's unfortunate. So it's not hard for me to kind of comprehend why people would have a problem with that.
But still, you have to ask another question. When you look at the way it's written and the way it's played, they always play chess. They always play so many moves ahead. So the question is that just another move to create another focal point of anger and aggression? Are the Zionists just controlled to create more war?
I love you, Greg. That was great.
Outside the box, man. Outside the box.
It really was outside the box, but it was probably pretty accurate.
Chess, mate. Moves ahead.
As long as you're playing, now this is me. The opinion you're about to hear is mine, guy from Tejas GFT. If you believe, this is me, if I believe what I see on the TV, that I'm playing on their chessboard. Back to you, Greg.
Yeah, most of them, definitely. And if you see new people on the TV, the mainstream TV, then they're either brokering a deal or they're being forced to. I mean, how many of these stars, just look at the stars in Hollywood for a second, yeah? Look at how many of them have had these, what you call clarity breakdowns, where they've actually came out of the trance that they're put in with the situation. And you see loads of them go on YouTube and like have a couple of minutes of like freaking out to the public, letting them know what's going on. And if they can get them back, which they do 99% of the time, no problem. But if they can't get them back, boom, they're dead. because they're worth just as much dead as they are alive. Financially, it's a win-win for them.
And unfortunately, Greg, what you just said is expounded in their legal system, in their bills, in their driver's licenses, in their certifications, in their registry. All of our names are tombstones, all capitalized. Back to you, Greg.
Well, I was just showing one pattern to allow other people to see the pattern. That's what I do. I like patterns.
Yes, you do.
Next topic.
I actually don't have another one in mind.
Well, if what I hear is going on actually does happen, it could be one possible good thing, which is so many countries have been doing their own scientific experiments on GMOs. And a lot of the countries that have banned GMOs are all starting to club together to possibly sue Monsanto. Now, can you imagine all these countries suing Monsanto, taking a chunk out at a time? Monsanto could fall through the freaking floor if it happens. It could just be another distraction, but we'll see.
Well,
Got to stay hopeful. No matter what happens, got to stay hopeful.
Absolutely, Buzz. Ken.
And not just hopeful in the mind, though. You got to stay hopeful in the body as well. And I say this because of the natural chemical reaction that the body has. When you're depressed, angry, and all the rest of it, you've got one chemical being released. And when you're happy and well and all the rest of it, you know, another chemical's released.
Hey,
if you stay in the depressed state or the angry state too long, that chemical is going to make you really ill.
Hey,
Whereas in the other state, you've got constant energy all the time. Because when you're happy, think about it. Do you ever need energy? You're normally full of energy when you're happy. There's a good reason for it.
Hey, Ken, can you throw in something? Or Steve, can one of you add on to what Buzz was saying?
Well, my chemistry is altered quite regularly by different substances, which keep me in a constant state of bliss. How about you, Steve?
Ken, I could always count on you to come up with something creative.
Yeah, I've found that tactic to be quite useful.
I wouldn't call it self-medication. I just call it. Is there another term we should use for this, Steve? This.
I do use preventative medication.
You know what? I like the way you think. Yes, it's preventive medicine.
Ken.
Thank you.
Ken, why do you have to censor that? You talked about having sex with a blow-up doll, and this is bothering you to talk about?
No.
There's no law against the blow-up doll.
No, that's right. I mean, it wasn't just sex with a blow-up doll. It was hot, passionate sex with a blow-up doll. Get it right.
Ken, I'm gonna make you a temporary co-host. You always have something to say. If that's cool with you.
You can be Johnny Carson. I'll be Ed McMahon.
Who are they?
Oh, next. Oh no, shucks.
Oh, to be young.
What did I do? Who's this? Are you sure they weren't already dead inside?
Yeah, they were, but at least they could still talk.
It's alive!
Oh, hey, I didn't lose Buzz.
Groovy.
I lost Ken, Steve, and Guy from Tejas.
Ken committed suicide because he finally was, he disclosed one of his deepest, darkest secrets about having sex with plastic salt dolls.
Oh, please, that ain't nothing. If I was going to be embarrassed about something, I'd be embarrassed about the three-way that I got into with a llama and a zebra. I mean, that was freaky, man.
Oh my God. Like I
But I
said.
don't want to go there. I don't want to go there because that was, you know what, that was a hard night of drinking, and then the mescaline took effect, and you know something. Let's just leave that. What happens in Mexico stays in Mexico. All right?
Okay, so once again, I'm putting the disclaimer on. Nothing Ken says reflects the network. It just makes me laugh.
Well, look, man, Ken, bestiality is illegal in many states. I can understand why you took a trip to Mexico instead to accomplish that task, or that desire.
I'm just a little disturbed that he had the desire to begin with.
Well, you know,
Oh, you hypocrites! You hypocrites! Like you've never banged your family cat. Come on.
judging by the pictures that he's been posting recently, I kind of figured he liked cows at least.
Ah,
Yeah, they're okay.
that was a nice one, Fox. Ugh, Ken, you're killing me here, but you're also making me laugh. So continue.
All right. So now let's bring this discussion back up out of the gutter.
It started in the gutter, Ken.
Yeah, we went into the gutter. But we can bring it out. We can save this.
Oh no! When you start talking about zoophilia, that's when we're in the gutter.
Hey,
I've got an
don't
important
judge
question.
me.
I've got a very, very important question. I mean, this is the sort of world-breaking question that I really got to ask. Is the world listening?
Can we judge you no matter what?
Ken, do you think she's coming back? And do you still keep her puncture repair kit to remind you?
I don't think she's coming back. I don't think she's coming back. The puncture repair kit and all of her other belongings. I you know, after a period of mourning, I had to get over it. I had to move on with my life.
Oh my
So
God.
I threw those in the trash, and I decided to start all over again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, after a period of mourning, I realized it was time for me to move on.
But you know, guys, on the subject of genetically modified food, there's a ray of sunshine sometimes around the world, because a small group of beekeepers in Mexico has inflicted a blow on the biotech giant Monsanto. They have been able to halt the ambitions to plant thousands of hectares of soybeans, of genetically modified soybeans, to resist the company's pesticide Roundup. And a judge actually overturned a permit that was issued to Monsanto by Mexico's Agriculture Ministry. So that it can be done. It can be overturned in the courts of law. I don't know how these guys did it, but these beekeepers now can continue to make their honey without genetically modified crap in it.
Ah, well, good for them. You'll notice Europe is kind of ahead of the rest of the world, also in trying to clamp down on the GMOs. And actually, they're also ahead of the world in trying to save the bee population too.
Hey.
Hooray for Europe!
And hooray for Mexico!
Two things
and hooray
I thought
for
I would never.
bees.
Hooray!
Because, you know, they do say if we don't have bees, then we're screwed. And to be honest, I think you can look at a lot of the different things in life right now that are being screwed over by the powers that be. I mean, our corals, our reefs, you know, all that. the plankton in the water even. It's all being messed with. You mess with a serious part of the ecology, and well, the whole chain's affected. So we got to hurry up and stop them. Definitely, 100%.
So here's something interesting. IBM developed a computer chip that functions like a brain that's being put in people's brains so they can walk.
Okay, this sounds like a good thing. On the surface, it sounds like a good thing. I mean,
yeah, if it helps people walk, but if it helps people walk like a zombie,
Ken, give it time, give it time. It'll develop into something evil by the Gates Foundation.
Well, yeah, you know it's going to be weaponized. It's going to be used to control people's thoughts and actions. You know that. But you know, on the surface, it does seem like a good thing. I mean, they've also developed, I guess, imaging software where people can think of an item or an object, and you know, the object is somehow represented on a screen, and this is using electrodes on the outside of the subject's head. I believe I've seen that in the past.
Oh, Bill Gates.
All of this.
Bill Gates developed a remote control birth control that goes into your body and doctors can control. So that's fun.
Oh gee, I don't see any way that could be misused.
Huh. Should we spend the next hour listing all the ways this could go wrong?
well, how about next hour listing some of the latest patents of some of the most scariest stuff you've ever seen? I mean, looking at patents of things can give you an idea of what they've already got, because they'll only release that information to you once it's old technology.
The sad thing is I completely agree with that.
I mean, yeah, I prefer. I mean, to be honest with you, I prefer the old way of birth control. And I'll tell you guys, I practice a perfectly natural form of birth control. You know what that is?
Having sex with a blow-up doll?
No, actually, women find me hideous, and they refuse to come near me.
Wearing a condom.
I still vote for my idea of what Ken's solution is. Ken, has anyone ever told you that you're...
with teeth-resistant butt.
Ken, has anyone ever told you you're kind of scary?
Yeah, but you know what? She didn't last very long.
Hey, we got Guy from Tejas.
She only said that once. Yeah, she only said that once, and it was kind of muffled by the duct tape as she was in the trunk of my car.
Again, he's not serious about any of this. Please don't go reporting him to the police, because I know there's some idiot out there who will listen to this and will decide to report him to the police.
Yeah, it's called the NSA.
Well, not those idiots. Other idiots.
Oh, yeah.
Like the trolls who called one of my admins a terrorist.
Oh, really? Isn't that term thrown about a little bit loosely these days?
Extremely. What's your point?
Well, it's lost all of its meaning when everything in the world is somehow related to terrorism, then suddenly
Everything is
nothing.
a terrorist.
No, when you relate everything in the world to terrorism, then
terrorism is like having sex with a condom.
What? I'm afraid I don't get it.
Terrorism is like having sex with a condom on. It's senseless.
Wait, what?
I'm lost.
Alright.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Please continue, Ken. Just ignore what I just said. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, we won't have any trouble with
Well,
that.
I think what we should do is when people want to kill people, we should kill them.
Hey,
That's what we should do.
hey, Stone.
Hi, Mr. S. By the way, just
Look, kid,
chucked a
I'm
funny link
cooking.
at the bottom there.
How's it going, Stone?
I'm cooking.
No. Okay. Okay.
Making dinner.
Why did he join a live?
We're live.
We're live on air, Stone.
Huh?
We're live on air.
If you're live on air.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I better get out of here then, because I'm cooking.
Dude, Ken's already gone too far with this. There's no problem.
Yeah, he's lost his other half, unfortunately, Mr. S.
That kind of
She
reminds
left him.
me. Well, actually, Stone here reminded me of that old TV show, Hee Haw. You know, where they would say, "Hey, Grandpa, what's for supper?" Remember that? And then he'd say something like, "Here's what's on the menu tonight: corned beef and cabbage in the pot, fresh ripe tomatoes you'll like a lot, an apple of dumplings with sauce to spare, and a pitcher of cold milk to round out the fare." Yee-haw!
Okay, guys, I think we're gonna have to wrap this up. I gotta eat dinner. I wanna eat dinner, but we can do this again. Definitely another day. I want to do 2 or 3 of these a week.
All right, hopefully the FCC won't ban you.
Screw the FCC.
Yeah, look,
Welcome to
I
the
think
no-fly list.
we'll just kill them. No problem. You just kill them.
Stone. No, not everything has to be resolved with killing.
Oh? Well, that's not what I've been taught.
Well, you
You just kill it. If it's a problem, you just kill it. You know.
you're a wizard. You're a wizard. All you were taught was killing. Alright guys, I'm gonna wrap up the broadcast. You've been listening to The Truth Speaks. I'm sorry if we've destroyed your well, if Ken's destroyed your innocence, but when we put the disclaimer in, so this is The Truth Speaks.
Virgin ears.
This is The Truth Speaks, signing out.